Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I do unboxings, mostly lifestyle subscription boxes, but also some stationery, books, beauty, jewelry, travel, home decor, even a dash of Disney. So if you enjoy unboxings, I do hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell so that you find out whenever I post new videos, announce giveaways, or go live. As always, if you're already subscribed, thanks again so much for being here and welcome back. Today I have a new box to the channel to share with you. In fact, it is their debut box, and that is the Literary Book Club. This is a bi-monthly book subscription. It always includes a classic collectible edition book, as well as some beautiful lifestyle and self-care items to go along with it, some bookish items, all inspired by the book itself. The box is $74.99 plus $9.95 in shipping, but if you use the code Noelle5, you can save $5 on your first box. Now, I will tell you guys that I believe the October box is sold out, and it is featuring Dracula, which I think will be really fun, a little bit spooky and very season appropriate. But I know that Katie is trying to get a few more boxes together, so definitely be on the lookout. And if not, you can definitely get on the list for the December box. This box is put out by the Wildflower Paper Company, and she actually has another subscription, the Wildflower Club, which I think is a beautiful lifestyle subscription for those who love the outdoors. And I think it's so exciting, all the things that are going on over there in Montana. She just got a storefront, so expect great things from this company and all of the awesome boxes that she puts together. So it's a beautiful box. Mine got a little bit scuffed up in shipping. They do some hints to tell you what the upcoming book is, and then she will announce it ahead of time. But like I said, she's already sold out the first two boxes, so you want to go ahead and order. So I'll show you what it looks like on the interior. First, there is a quote. It is not from the book that was included. It says, "I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library." And of course, that is from Jane Austen. And this is what it looks like when you open it up. There is a little bit of nice tissue paper. Now, I did, of course, go ahead and get the book out of it because this is one of those subscriptions where there are pages corresponding to the gifts. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous edition of Little Women. So it is in pink, but how stunning is this beautiful, beautiful tome? You're going to see some page stickies because I did go ahead and mark it, but it's gold on the edges. It actually doesn't just have Little Women. That is like half of it, but it also has Little Men and Joe's Boys. So it's like a whole Louisa May Alcott collection right here. So it is beautiful. It was shrink wrapped, so I had to go ahead and open that up so that I could go ahead and read through it. And for that reason, because it was shrink wrapped, she wasn't able to do any sort of like notes on the pages, any sticky notes the way some subscriptions do. At the very bottom of the box, there was a list that said all of the items that are in there. But what I had to do, because I didn't see any way to sort of read along and open the gifts, I went ahead and looked through the whole box, and this is kind of what it looked like. And I looked at all of the items that are labeled with page numbers, and I went ahead and made myself like a nice little list so that I could then go through, and I put page tabs on each of the pages so that I could kind of read freely and then go to the gifts when it was time to open them up. So I tried not to peek at the list, but I did pull it out eventually to make sure that I had gotten through everything. So that would be like an upgrade for future boxes if maybe she gave us those sticky tabs, even if we had to go in and put them in ourselves, just so that you don't have to make that list yourself, or just a list that's in the nice little note. So there was a nice little card right on top that it has a nice beautiful wax seal, the Literary Book Club, and I thought that was kind of a nice touch. So as you open it, then it just tells you that the book was Little Women. Of course, I did open it up, and I did actually reread all of Little Women, which was almost 400 pages. I don't think I had read it for probably about 30 years. I think we all know the story. There's been so many movie adaptations of it. I actually recently watched the recent one with Saoirse Ronan in it, and I thought it was really interesting the way they put it together. But let's read a little bit from Katie. So it says, Little Women, written by Louisa May Alcott, follows the lives of four sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy March, in their passage from childhood to womanhood. With strong themes of family, love, and good old-fashioned fun, this classic is sure to warm your heart. This is one of my favorite books, and I've read it many times since childhood. I can't wait to hear what you think of the book, the gifts, and the whole experience. Make sure to tag us. It says, P.S. The list of items in your box is at the bottom of the box. Don't read it until you've opened all your gifts to keep the surprise alive. So keep reading. I love Katie. So again, gorgeous, gorgeous book, you guys. guys. It's embossed. I love the gold on the edge. I just felt so fancy. This is definitely not a book I would want to travel with though, just to keep it nice and neat, but I'm really looking forward to having a bunch of these, and I think it's kind of fun that we're shifting from Little Women, like the sweetest story ever, to Dracula, which is going to be a little bit darker and probably not that pretty pale pink. So let's go ahead and go through it. There was a founding member extra little gift, which I thought was really cute. So it's actually, of course, labeled and everything, and it's the sweetest little bookmark, which I didn't actually open up yet. So let me see if I can get into it now. But it's one of those like ones that's a little teacup, you guys, that just sits at the top, which I thought was so sweet and also very, very appropriate even for Little Women, even though it is a founding member gift. So I thought that was cute. I just like poured stuff all over the ground, but let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the other items that weren't necessarily associated with pages. So we did get a nice, what they're calling like a swag bag. So it's the Literary Book Club swag bag. So we got a few items because again, she does have a paper company and she does all kinds of cool stickers. So we got a few items. There's a few like business cards in here, some fun stickers. For one example, it says, here's to strong women, may we know them, may we be them, may we raise them. Of course, a beautiful quote. And again, it does say the Wildflower Paper Company on the back. Here's one that is just what the front of the box looks like. Hopefully one of my boxes will come nice and pristine, but of course, because it does have that cream cover, it might be a little bit tricky. Here's a nice little book plate in here, so you can always add that. I don't know if I want to put anything like permanent though into my beautiful book. Then there's another one that just has all of the names of the March sisters. I'm not sure exactly what I would do with a decal like this, but who knows if you have any like huge Little Women fans in your life. And then there is a very beautiful bookmark that says, some books are so familiar that reading them is like being home again, and that is a quote from Louisa May Alcott. I didn't actually use that when I was reading because it does have this nice ribbon bookmarker, so I used that instead, but I thought that was like a fun little extra swag bag to have included. So it does say about this collectible edition, it presents 3 novels from one of the most beloved American authors, Louisa May Alcott, includes her most famous and cherished classic, Little Women, about the lives of 4 sisters in Civil War era America, as well as its sequels, Little Men and Joe's Boys. Now, there was another item that didn't have a page number on it. It does kind of appear a little bit earlier in the book, and that is a little bag that says Marmie's Evening Tea, because they all kind of gather around her at the end of the day after she's gone about doing all of her good deeds. And so we just got some apple and cinnamon fruit and spice tea from Tea Pigs. So I just thought that was kind of nice to sort of set the tone, because I know a lot of us like to make a nice cup of tea as we start to tuck into a book. And of course it was very appropriate and very like fallish to have that apple and cinnamon, even though this is technically the August box. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look at my little cheat sheet so I can read you the passages as we go through and talk about all of the items. Now I will say I believe there were 6 additional items to what I've already showed you, and then there was another thing that was at the very bottom that said don't open it until the very end, so that would be 7. But pretty much all of the gifts except for one, I think, came in the first 200 pages of the 400-page book. So in the future I would love to see it sort of spread out a little bit more, because often it's getting to that gift that sort of inspires me to read an extra chapter. So it was a little bit sad once I opened my like last gift, even though there was one final one at the very, very bottom for the end of the book. But that's something that, you know, it just depends on the book, I suppose. So let's see. The first one officially is on page 33. It says, they always looked back before turning the corner, for their mother was always at the window to nod and smile and wave her hand at them. Somehow it seemed as if they couldn't have got through the day without that, for whatever their mood might be, the last glimpse of that motherly face was sure to affect them like sunshine. If Marmee shook her fist instead of kissing her hand to us, it would serve us right, for more ungrateful minxes than we were never seen, cried Joe, taking a remorseful satisfaction in the slushy road and bitter wind. Don't use such dreadful expressions, replied Meg from the depths of the veil in which she had shrouded herself like a nun sick of the world. So I actually really loved Meg this time reading it through. I don't know why, but like I know Joe is our heroine and everybody loves Joe and wants to be more like Joe, but I just thought Meg was so sweet, and I sort of had an affinity for her like love of the finer things in life and the way she naturally sort of like looked at other people and sort of wished she had some of those things. I feel it's like the way we kind of act when we're on Instagram and scrolling through things. So there is a nice sticker. It says, I like good, strong words that mean something, and that is from Louisa May Alcott. And so, of course, she does say that right after Meg kind of retorts at her, and she says, I like good, strong words that mean something, replied Jo, catching her hat as it took a leap off her head, preparatory to flying away altogether. So this is a nice magnet. Again, I don't know exactly what I will do with this because I don't use a lot of magnets, but I do appreciate a good magnet over a sticker, just because I have so many stickers and I don't know what to do with those either. All right, the next thing was on page 64. Let me go ahead and find this one. So like I said, they did come kind of a quick clip, so I did get through the first bit of it pretty quickly. It says, you know something about it and you better tell it once or I'll make you. And Jo gave her a slight shake. Scold as much as you like. You'll never see your silly old book again, cried Amy, getting excited in her turn. Why not? I burnt it up. What? My little book I was so fond of and worked over and meant to finish before Father got home? Have you really burnt it? Said Jo, turning very pale while her eyes kindled and her hands clutched Amy nervously. Oh, that was like one of the worst parts of the book, because you totally feel for Jo, but you also feel for Amy. I feel like Amy gets slighted a lot and sort of kind of neglected sometimes in some of the adaptations. So this is for page 64, and I was kind of curious to see what it was, because of course we don't know what Jo's novel was that did get all torn up. But it was, in fact, Flower Fables by Louisa May Alcott, which I think is like her first collection of stories. Let me just double check. I think it is. So let's see. Yes, it is her first book. So I thought that was kind of cool. We got another book within our book box, which is always kind of fun. So I'll have to like tuck into that eventually. The next one was on page 84. So like I said, they all kind of came like pretty quickly there for a little bit. So it says, gardening, walks, rows on the river, and flower hunts employed the fine days, and for rainy ones they had house diversions, some old, some new, all more or less original. One of these was the PC, for as secret societies were the fashion, it was thought proper to have one, and all of the girls admired Dickens. They called themselves the Pickwick Club. So they kind of like create their own little home newsletter or newspaper, which is kind of cute. So then this is what we got for that, and it came in this cute little bag, page 84. So let's go ahead and open that up. So let's see, we have something from 406 Soap and Candle. So I'm guessing she works with a lot of small businesses. So this is the Pickwick Club candle, you guys. So I got a candle in my book box. Smells like fresh apples and good old-fashioned fun. So it was made specifically for this book box, which you guys know I always appreciate. And it does smell so good. It really does smell like fresh apples, and I love that it doesn't necessarily have that like sweet cinnamony scent that so many apple scented candles do at this time of year. And then just a few pages later, on page 91, we got yet another gift. It says the PO was a capital little institution and flourished wonderfully, for nearly as many queer things passed through it as through the real post office. Tragedies and cravats, poetry and pickles, garden seeds and long letters, music and gingerbread, rubbers, invitations, scoldings, and puppies. The old gentleman liked the fun and amused himself by sending odd bundles, mysterious messages, and funny telegrams. And his gardener, who was smitten with Hannah's charms, actually sent a love letter to Jo's care. How they laughed when the secret came out, never dreaming how many love letters that little post office would hold in the years to come. So, of course, Lori lives next door, essentially, even though I think there's some space between the properties. So they have their little PO, right? They have the PC and they have the PO, which is their little post office, so they exchange little bundles and letters all of the time. So that again was for page 91. So let me see if I can find that. Came in this little bundle. So everything was really well done in terms of the packaging. I just wish I had had like that cheat sheet, that little list, so that I could easily get my sticky notes in there without having to totally undo the whole box. So this is something from the Wildflower Paper Company. We got some tiny notes so that we can send little notes. I don't have a little homemade post office, but I can definitely include these as little gift cards, which I thought was sweet. So I think we got quite a few of them, and they did come with little envelopes, which there's something about like a little envelope that I just think is adorable. So let me see how many of the little cards we got. I think there's probably like a good 10 of them. They're not folded cards, they're just like little business cards, but look how pretty they are with this lovely watercolor floral print. But again, I think we got like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. So I can definitely have a little correspondence, or like I said, something to tuck into all of those giveaways that I like to send out to you guys. And then we get to page 118. So again, this is almost our penultimate gift. It says, "It was a rather pretty little picture, for the sisters sat together in the shady nook with sun and shadow flickering over them, the aromatic wind lifting their hair and cooling their hot cheeks, and all the little wood people going on with their affairs as if these were no strangers but old friends." So then we go to page 118, because the girls like to keep themselves busy and industrious, but they like to sometimes go outside to do it. And this is what we had in this little package. It seems stuck in here. Hold on one second. All right, I managed to pull it out crooked, so then I tore the package. Good job, me. I was just getting too excited. So then, of course, this is a beautiful enamel pin, and it does say honorary March sister. So, of course, Lori gets to be an honorary March sister, or we can think of ourselves as honorary March sisters. So I thought that was kind of cute. I think I thought of something else that would be like more appropriate, because I don't know that I would ever like wear this on my lapel or put it on like a bag. There was something else that I thought would have been really cute. Oh, it was the Busy Bee Society is what they actually call their little gatherings, and I thought that would have been a really like kind of cute thing to have. It was still a nod to Little Women, but not necessarily like having the name March on it. So that was like a thought where I like maybe that would have been like something I would have used more, but I do think it's kind of cute to have that. And of course, if you love Little Women, this was a great box for you to receive. So the next one is, or the last one that actually had a page number, was on page 225. So it's at a point where we've just kind of skipped ahead about 3 years in the story. It says, "Fired with a housewifely wish to see her storeroom stocked with homemade preserves, she undertook to put up her own currant jelly. John was requested to order home a dozen or so of little pots and an extra quantity of sugar, for their own currants were ripe and were to be attended to at once. So Meg and John have set up their home, and she is ready to play housewife and create some beautiful little jams." So of course it doesn't go as well as one would hope. It came in this cute little package, which I almost misplaced there for a second. So you can probably guess this was one where I kind of had an idea of what it might be. We got some lovely Blake Hill black currant with wild mint. That makes it a little bit more exciting jam. So I could just imagine her trying and boiling and making a huge mess out of their tiny little kitchen and not managing to get the jelly to gel. And of course it leads to a little row, but of course they find their domestic bliss once again. Very cute that it came with the little wooden spoon, although I'm not sure that it will actually fit very well into that jar, like maybe just barely, but it's still a really cute serving spoon, so you could add it to like a charcuterie board if you wanted to, if you weren't just taking it on your toast. So that is all the gifts that were corresponding to pages. And then we had this lovely one that just says right here on this sticker, it says, "Open when the last page has been read." So the last page got read. I took about 5 hours, I think, to finish the book once I had gotten through all the gifts, because I just had to press forward. So it is very sweet. It's the Little Women cookbook. So we got not one, but two, but three books in this box. So it's tempting recipes from the March sisters and their friends and family. So I thought this was really cute, and it's got images of all of the girls. It says, "So says Mrs. March, Marmee to her daughters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy, in the last line of the beloved novel, Little Women. Oh, my girls, however long you may live, I can never wish you a greater happiness than this. The occasion is a picnic in the orchard after a day of apple picking. Food lovingly cooked and happily shared is truly at the heart of Little Women." So I love that. They do such lovely little picnics, their luncheons. I think one of my favorites, of course, is when Amy tries to have her friends from her art class over and only one of them shows up after they've prepared it for 2 days in a row. We do have one final gift, so you guys, there's definitely a lot of lovely presents in this box. I think it is well worth the price for the gorgeous edition of a classic, as well as all of the fun of opening things as we go. I'm not going to open this right now because I don't want to ruin the sticker, but it is a beautiful print with beautiful script. It says, "She is too fond of books and it has turned her brain." Again, Louisa May Alcott, and a lovely piece from the Wildflower Paper Company. You all let me know if you love Little Women. Let me know what your favorite item in this box was. Definitely check out the Literary Book Club if you want some beautiful classic editions and a really fun reading experience. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.